I when you even respectfully have guys like SRS and Fightful and other very much AEW flag wavers and everything like that are admitting that that was not good, that was hot garbage. And I've heard the excuse of, well, they were limited by what they could do because of Missouri state law. Then don't hold the fucking match there, first and foremost. On top of it, shows Moxley and Darby can't have good matches without blood, but don't hold the fucking match there then.
Yeah, there's a list of things that we can break all down. I think for me, I want to make it very clear to the fans out there. And I think, Nick, you and I have watched hours upon hours upon hours of wrestling live with everybody over the last 2 years, not to mention our own wrestling history and fandom and such for decades. Like, I think we've earned somewhat of a fan's point of view of what we're watching. And I mean, we've talked about the long list of veterans, Hall of Famers, former wrestlers, that anytime anyone goes public with an opinion, it's taken like a jab right to the heart. And there's this group of just sad, desperate, weird, trippy people that just go banana sandwich as if someone just punched their mama in the face in front of them, which ironically would be the least likely to get a reaction in actually face-to-face. But ultimately, I don't get it. Like, we watched Sarah Stock gave her opinion as a former wrestling coach and a mom. People pulling out of her past. Oh, do you remember when she got arrested? Do you remember this? It is crazy. At what point will this collective understand that they are the problem? You are the common denominator. And if that's who he's booking for and he has the billions to do it, Nick, then you do it in small, medieval time-looking buildings and your fan base dwindles and disappears. That doesn't even begin to resemble wrestling. And for me, it's not even about the violence. It's not about like, oh, my God, this is so violent. Oh, hide the children. Sure, parents should tell their kids, hey, don't do that. Don't do that to your brother. Let's ignore that. Here's the fucking problem that people are missing out on. It was fucking boring. It wasn't good. It didn't make sense. It was boring. Let's ignore everything else. You tried to drown somebody for a boring match. And the fans out there that it was amazing and wrestling's subjective to a point. Like, me and you can disagree on an athlete, right? Like, I like this pitcher better than you like this pitcher. But when you come down to the fundamentals, you know, well, my favorite pitcher has a better curveball than your guy. You can't say, to a point, you can't say no. The facts are the facts, right?
There are certain things that are literally you cannot debate that are kind of
my guy's got more
undeniable.
strikeouts than your guy. Yeah, okay, he does. He's a strikeout pitcher. Okay. So you can't argue that stat. Doesn't mean you have to like it more or otherwise. But when you're talking about the fundamentals of what pro wrestling is, what entertainment is, they missed all the marks. And people trying to convince the world that there was storytelling in that. Sting didn't even look excited to be there. Like,
you just showed up, smashed fish tank, which again was still ridiculous, and you nailed everything that I wanted to say on the damn head before I could even get a chance to say it. Well, still, I've said before, if you cannot critique something, or if something is completely absolved of being critiqued, you're in a cult. You're in a cult at that point.
Yeah.
Because literally, it is, again, we can have varying different opinions, but I've never seen people take something so to heart. You've got the Blue Jays playing tonight, Game 7. My Bills are coming off of 2 losses and everything. You could go ahead right now. Boss has been doing it for 2 weeks now, talking trash about Josh Allen. And I'm not out here acting like he's, insulting my wife and, wants to fornicate my mother or anything like that. I don't get why we need to crucify everybody because they have a differing opinion and because they explain why they don't like it. And that's the thing, is they actually come up with reason A, B, C, and D. Everybody else that tries to counter it is just like, well, you don't get it. You're just a tribal. Well, you're just a fed. You're a pedophile. You're this. It's like, shut up. Actually be able to voice your opinion and have a discussion like an adult. And
it's madness.
Regardless of the whole, don't try this at home thing, because that's what we grew up on. Even you, sorry, certain kids just don't realize that the end of the pool is a little too deep and everything because mommy's too busy being a thotty on Instagram and everything. Sometimes that shit happens. But to me, beyond all of that, and I've heard people, oh, it was biblical. He baptized the AW flag in the water and everything. We're going to the biblics and everything. It was just a masterclass. You don't get it, bro. No one fucking gets it because it was bad. It was just goddamn bad.
Bad. It wasn't. It's not like it was a crazy good match, and we can debate, did they go too far with the finish? You and I were expecting chaos. That was so subdued, and everything in the match was built towards that fucking tank spot and Sting. And the Pavlovian dogs out there lapped it up right away. They couldn't help it. But they ignored all the standing around, all the doing nothing, all the lack of sensibility that you're running a sports business. Therefore, yes, it's an I quit match, push extremes. But there's probably like we're not allowed to kill you clause in your fucking contract. Like we're not thinking. And what people are saying out there, if they think Sarah's the only mother out there that thinks my kid's never fucking watching this program, they're wrong. And whether they like that or not, that's just another generation of WWE fans growing up. That's just another collection of kids that might not even watch wrestling. But again, if you think Sarah's the only one out there that has that opinion, and again, like you said, to me, it's not even about that. It's about how bad the fucking match was. That for the third or fourth time in 2025, Moxley has killed a pay-per-view for me. Killed it.
Well, and even then, if you can't go to that extreme level, which they had ramped up, we had talked literally anytime. You could not talk about this pay-per-view online, on Twitter, on social media, on any platform, even when we were doing the predictions and everything, doing the pre-show, doing the stream. Couldn't talk about how expecting that this match was going to go to the extremes. And oh my God, they've done this already and they've done that already. And if it's actually true that, well, you couldn't do this and you couldn't play it and you had to clear this, so then why do it there? That pay-per-view did not hinge on that match. That story did not hinge on that happening there. So why do it if you're already going to be that restricted?
And then, sorry to interrupt, Nick, but then you're sitting in like a creative meeting going, okay, we can't blade, we can't do this, we can't do that. What can we do? And someone says, let's fucking drown him. But
it shows that Moxley and them can't have a good match like that without that.
Moxley has not had. When was the last time Moxley had a non-stipulation match on a pay-per-view? And I think he's only had one or two, like Moxley Ishii, no stip. We get that, right?
Well, but the only stip was mobility.
Yeah. So the problem with Moxley is he continues to have horrible matches. And I'm sorry. If you watched that main event and thought it was a good wrestling match, you got it twisted. You got it twisted. I'm sorry, it's not the same.
Join the chat and we'll talk about it and everything like that. We'll debate about it. Leave a comment and everything. I'm willing to have the discussion. If you can actually have the discussion about it, I'm willing to have the discussion.
Always, any day of the week. That's what we built this channel on. We don't always agree. And again, at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to. But the idea that the IWC out there can't help, and that collective, and I feel bad for wrestling fans. I'm a wrestling fan, right? But you can't really brag about being a wrestling fan at times because you got this gross, greasy underbelly that it just, I live and breathe it. They cling to it. I don't get it, man. I just don't obsess to that point. And we do this 6-7 days a week. We do this over 300 days a year. And I don't even have that level of, oh, my precious wrestling. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
You don't have the parasocial relationship. You don't have to get told, don't stalk people at airports. Don't barge into hotel rooms and everything. But let's be social instead of parasocial. And we'll say hi to the people out there.
All right, let's roll.